Hi, everybody. Futterman's a poor sport and won't play along, so you get to listen to me do this.
Right.
Well, Seymour, I made it, despite your directions. Ah, Superintendent Chalmers, welcome. I hope you're prepared for an unforgettable luncheon. Yes. Oh, we gods, my roast is ruined. But what if I were to purchase fast food
Are you gonna
and
do the whole
disguise
thing?
it as my own cooking? Ho, 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 ho. Delightfully devilish, Seymour. Seymour! Superintendent, I was just stretching my calves on the windowsill. Isometric exercise. Care to join me? Why is there smoke coming out of your oven, Seymour? Oh, that isn't smoke. It's steam. Steam from the steam clams we're having. Steam clams. Ba, 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 ba. You could have participated if you wanted to, but this is the hell of your own making.
I don't have that memorized.
I put the transcript in the drive just for you, but you didn't want to.
You didn't tell me it was there, but I also don't want to. You're right.
Well, okay, here's your choice. I'll keep reading the rest of this by myself, or you could open up the transcript in the drive and help me finish it out.
Or we could just, get on with the episode.
Your move.
That's option 3.
Option 3 does not exist.
Well, let's see if I can find it. Let's see.
I put it in other.
Other.
Yeah.
Steamed hams transcript.
Yeah, see? You be Skinner.
Not in Utica.
No, too far.
Oh.
Why is there smoke coming out of your oven, Seymour?
That isn't smoke. It's steam. Steam from the steamed clams we're having. Steamed clams. Superintendent, I hope you're ready for some mouth-watering hamburgers.
I thought we were having steamed clams.
Oh no, I said steamed hams. That's what I call hamburgers.
You call hamburgers steamed hams?
Yes, it's a regional dialect.
Uh-huh. What region?
Upstate New York.
Really? Well, I'm from Utica, and I never heard anyone use the phrase steamed hams.
Oh, not in Utica. It's an Albany expression.
I see.
These hamburgers...
these hamburgers... Oh. These hamburgers are quite similar to the ones they have at Krusty Burger.
No. Patented Skinner Burgers, old family recipe.
For steamed hams.
Yes.
Yes, and you call them steamed hams despite the fact that they are obviously grilled.
The one thing I should... Excuse me for 1 second.
Of course.
Oh, well, that was wonderful. A good time was had by all. I'm pooped.
Yes, I should be. Good Lord, what is happening in there?
Aurora Borealis?
Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of the day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yes.
May I see it?
No.
Wait. Seymour, the house is on fire!
No, Mother, it's just the Northern Lights.
Well, Seymour, you are an odd fellow, but I must say, you steam a good ham. Help! Help!
Well, that happened.
Yep, there we go. What are we talking about today, Futtermann?
Video games, probably. And who knows what
Probably?
else. Well, we always pick a topic, but then, things happen. Oh, before we get on to the topic of video games, I was curious. I know this came up briefly in the last episode, but Kenobi, that show. You had mentioned plot holes. I don't know. I guess
plot holes.
I guess I'll throw up the spoiler tag. I've been watching it. I'm still enjoying it, but
I can't believe you are.
What plot holes are you talking about? I haven't seen any.
Kenobi cannot meet Leia and Vader before Episode 4. That doesn't happen.
Why not?
It is confirmed.
When was it confirmed that didn't happen?
Well, first of all, Vader did not meet Kenobi until New Hope. In Rebels, which takes place a few years after this, and is Disney's own canon, he still talks about how he hasn't found Kenobi yet, and that he didn't know where he was. But he clearly knows where he is now.
He didn't find him on Tatooine in Kenobi. He found him on a different planet entirely.
It doesn't matter. He talked about how he hadn't found Kenobi yet.
Yeah, I know, but he very easily could have lost him again after the events of Kenobi. I don't see that being a
No,
plot
come
hole.
on. No, it is blatantly a plot hole. Kenobi and Vader cannot meet before episode 4. Never met Kenobi before the events of episode 4. The fact that Obi-Wan is in the state that he's in when just like a couple of years later he's going to fight Darth Maul and kill him in 3 strokes, despite the fact that, and his portrayal there was clearly in line with his portrayal from the prequels to the originals, and not this little stopgap in the middle where he gets completely Luke Skywalker a la Last Jedi. It didn't happen, and trying to make it happen is just like stretching to try and justify the show's existence.
I don't know. I'm just pretty sure that's going to be his like character arc for the show. Is that by the end of it, he's going to be closer to what we saw in episode 4? Because I mean, it would have been weird for him to be. I mean, after everything he went through in episode 3, you would expect him to have a bit of PTSD and stuff to get over.
No, you wouldn't, because he's a Jedi, and that was never how he was portrayed. To have him be this cowardly, simpering nothing of a guy who almost gives up on his mission 10 years after the fact, I'm sorry, but that does not line up with any way he's been characterized before or after.
I don't know. This seems to be kind of the impression I'm getting from everywhere. It's like everyone either thinks the show is the worst thing ever, or they think it's fine. And like, there's like not a lot of in between. I don't see a lot of people saying it's just okay. I see a lot of people saying this show's great, or I see people saying this show sucks. I don't know. I kind of disagree that any of those are major plot holes. I think that I don't think they were ever explicit enough about any of that stuff. Like up till now, that's been the interpretation. But like,
that's been the interpretation because that's what happened.
We didn't know what happened up until now. There was a 19-year gap between episode 3 and episode 4. We didn't know what happened to Kenobi in that gap, except for with his brief appearance in Rebels.
Ow, my back. No, I'm sorry, but anyone suggesting that we didn't know, that's what they're doing. They're trying to suggest that they're going to fill in the gaps in the canon where the gaps didn't exist so that they can push their own version of the characters. It's the same. They've been trying. You notice how the show started with a trailer where they make it seem like it's going to be about watching Luke, but most of the show is about Leia, because it's all part of Kathleen Kennedy's thing with the Force is female. And when she was on record as saying, well, Leia is just as important, if not more so, than Luke, even though that's objectively not true in the original story. She is a side character. Luke is the main character. But now they're trying to retroactively give her more to do, make her more important. And a lot of people suspect that this is going to ultimately culminate in Disney making their own version of the original trilogy. And if they ever do that, well, that is not going to go over well.
No, I doubt it. But we're not at that point yet. I don't know. I've enjoyed Leia.
As if anything else they've done.
I've actually enjoyed Leia. I
cannot believe you have.
I don't know.
She's so irritating.
She's a kid. She's a believable. She's
like that one
pretty believable kid.
No. She is not. She behaves like a smarmy, way older than she is kid. And the fact that she's able to outrun a series of grown adults who just comedically like bumbled through the woods and just can't catch her, it's so unbelievable.
Okay, I don't think the show's perfect. I'm enjoying it. I think it's entertaining. It's definitely got some like I'm disappointed with some of it. They could have done a lot more. Like if they are going to bring back Hayden Christensen, I think they should have used him a lot more than they have. I mean, we haven't finished the series yet, so who knows, but he really hasn't been in it much, and when he has, he's been in a costume, so you can't really see him. And I don't know. And the Grand Inquisitor thing is just weird. Like, they, like, quote-unquote killed him off in episode 2, even though we know he's not dead because he appears in Rebels later. But they basically just wanted to get him out of the way so they could have Reva be the main villain, and she's probably not as interesting.
Because, and don't even get me started on the manufactured racist outrage that Disney set up before the show even got out, where where it looks, by the looks of it, they either selectively picked or just outright made up some so-called tweets from apparently toxic racist fans, which to them means all Star Wars fans, about how much they hated Reva because she was black, even though that's not what anyone said. Then notice how Reva quickly took over from an actual established character, and then notice how before the show is out, despite everyone hating her, they're already announcing how there might be a Reva show coming out after the show, because she's the real main character of the show, not Obi-Wan. It's just the classic bait and switch that they've been doing with every show and every movie that they keep putting out.
I wouldn't say that she's the main character. She hasn't had nearly as much screen time as Obi-Wan, but she's really not terrible. Like, she's fine. I just don't think I think
what?
I don't know. I mean, what am I supposed to? She hasn't done anything overly offensive. I don't think she's that impressive.
You think she's fine.
She's
a
fine.
Terribly written character.
She's not great. I think it would have been a lot better if they just kept the Grand Inquisitor. So I think that's confusing. But like if she was, I think she would have worked fine as like another Inquisitor alongside the Grand Inquisitor. But the fact they're trying to make her the main focus is a little problem. Like is just not as she's fine. Like
you
that's
were
all I'll
about
say.
to say the word problematic, weren't you?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like the right word there though.
No, see, here's the problem with her arc is that it's been the fact that she herself, the actress, was like, I'm being a character that people can look up to, because one, it betrays a greater attitude. Actors don't see themselves as the characters anymore. She's like, oh, people can look up that there's a black actress, but it's like the character in a prominent role, but the character is a horrible person that would not be a role model. But two, I don't know, a trend that you might have noticed in recent media, especially, is that women are never allowed to be the bad guys, or at least not forever. So either she will be redeemed at some point, and she's gonna turn over, because a black woman would never be allowed to be the villain of a show long term. So it's coming.
I mean, I know that I'm sure they're going toward a redemption arc for her. That's probably
But if she was male, then they wouldn't, because a thing with female villains in a lot of recent works is that whenever you have a male villain, they're always set up so that they're irredeemably evil. They usually get killed off by the end of the story. But
Kylo
female
Ren?
villains, no, he still dies. And remember, he wasn't the real
redeemed,
villain.
though.
It was Palpatine.
Yeah, I know, but still, Kylo Ren was kind of in that situation, but then he
I
got
said
redeemed and then
most,
died.
obviously not all of them.
Yeah.
I said most. It's a tendency. Male villains are allowed to be irredeemably evil and allowed to die. Female villains almost always are either evil because something else is making them be evil. They're evil because they're just trying to survive, or it's never their own. It's almost never their own choice, and they almost always get redeemed by the end of it. But the same courtesy is not extended to the other side of the aisle. It's just a double. Like you can see it in the recent Ninja Turtles comic, where when Karai finally steps in to be the mean villain, it's because she gets a cursed sword that makes her evil. Whereas all the previous villains were just evil because they were evil.
I don't know. I can't really speak to that at all, but
that specific example I know, but like it's just look around. You might start noticing it if you look for it.
Yeah, I mean, I could think of examples of the opposite though, if I think about it. But yeah, I don't know. My main takeaway from Kenobi is like, it's fine. Like seriously, that's the word. Like, and fine isn't like high praise by any means. I think the show's fine. I've just been happy that it's not boring. Book of Boba Fett was extremely boring. Kenobi at least isn't that. I can watch the episodes and not, they're entertaining at least.
It's a character assassin. I don't even see how you find it entertaining. This is a boring show. But it's a character assassination of Obi-Wan.
How do you know it's boring if you haven't even watched it?
Because, Futtermann, I have watched a lot of clips. I've watched a lot of reviews. I've read a bunch of different articles from both sides, and I've read everything there is to read about this show. I know what happens in it, and I wouldn't gain any more information from actually watching it.
I don't know. Whatever. This wasn't supposed to be a heated debate. I was just curious what you had observed. I didn't think it was gonna trigger you though. But I'm gonna turn off spoiler banners. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay.
But bottom line, I'm enjoying it, and I guess I'm a little offended that you think that I'm stupid for enjoying it.
I didn't say you were stupid. I just said I can't believe that you enjoy it.
I know. That feels weird to me for some reason, because it's entertaining. I'm not giving it high praise. I don't think it's nearly as offensive as you seem to think it is. It's just fine. It's compared to a lot of what else Disney's been doing. It's fine. It's a lot better than Book of Boba Fett was, but that's, not saying a ton. It's not the best Star Wars property ever in my opinion, but it's entertaining enough. And I like Ewan McGregor, so that probably earns a few points for me too. Either way, what else should we talk about?
Something more fun.
Yeah, screw this. I might just edit that part out.
Nah, too late. We made it. It's there.
Not if I edited it out.
Not if I just decide to directly reference it throughout several points in this episode.
Well, then I can just edit those out too.
You're going to edit out each individual instance of me being like, remember when we talked about Obi-Wan at the beginning of this episode?
Yeah, I could do that. Either way.
Do you want to?
I want to go jump off a cliff right now, is what I want to do.
Yeah, well, this is what Disney Star Wars does. It divides people.
Yeah, so why are we letting it divide us? We're better than that.
Yeah. Video games.
How about Jedi
There's my
Fallen Order?
I haven't played it.
It's fine. The plot has a lot of the same. I feel like you would hate the plot because it's got a lot of kind of the same stuff you just complained about in Kenobi. But gameplay-wise, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe gameplay-wise, but I don't play games just for gameplay.
I guess here's the thing. I enjoyed the plot for the most part. I like the character of Cal Kestis. He's pretty cool, but I mean, I won't go into spoilers, but essentially the plot is kind of just very nothing. Like some cool stuff happens, but it's one of those plots where it's like it's obviously a side plot because ultimately nothing that happens in this plot matters for the overall Star Wars universe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It very much feels like, it feels like one of those old expanded universe stories where it's like, this definitely could have happened. It doesn't contradict canon or anything, but because of that, it also doesn't really add anything canon wise. But the gameplay is a lot of fun, so I'd recommend it for that reason. And the plot's not terrible, but I know you would find stuff to get angry about.
I would only find stuff to get angry about if there was actually something to get angry about.
Well, I guess here's the thing. It's like I'm like. They actually did directly reference some stuff in Kenobi that was in Fallen Order. Like the entire episode 4 basically was just a rehash of a chunk of.
Oh yeah, that's
Fallen
right.
Order.
That was another complaint I had. That episode is literally just the plot of Fallen Order.
It's really not though. Like when I watch it, they stole some set pieces from it, but the overall plot's really not. I mean, they didn't just copy and paste the entire plot. That people kind of try to say. It's more just they definitely took some elements from it. Which, yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, anyways, my point is though, so they've already taken some from Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
It was this. Why did, I was confused. They introduced the new character of Reva, the third sister. Fallen Order, the main antagonist is the second sister, who is basically a character with the same backstory as Reva, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And she's also I don't know. I don't really know why they I don't really know why
they wanted to make I tell you why. They wanted to put another diverse person into the story and give her own show, which is what it looks like they're doing.
I mean, Trilla was already a diverse.
That's it.
Trilla was a diverse character. She wasn't white.
Yeah. But they wanted another one.
I guess.
I know what Trilla looks like. I've seen the gameplay.
Yeah, I'm just curious that they didn't. I guess they're just trying to keep her available for the next Fallen Order or for the next Jedi game.
I don't know. In general, I don't think the concept of the Inquisitors was that good anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, you noticed that in Rebels, they stopped using them after the second season.
Yeah, I think they've never been.
It doesn't
my favorite.
work.
It
works way better if Darth Vader is the main enforcer of the Emperor instead of all these wannabe Sith going around who are also Dark Jedi who also do the same job that Darth Vader
they're not
historically did by
Sith.
itself.
I guess they're not technically given the title of Sith, so they're not, technically breaking the rule of two, but it definitely muddles that up a bit.
Well, not really, because there are Dark Jedi, the one guy, Pong Krell.
Yeah.
That guy. Screw him.
Yeah, there's an entire subreddit dedicated to hating that guy.
Oh, I know. It's obligatory. That guy sucks and we all know it.
Yeah, well that was the point. He was supposed to be.
But yeah. Well, yeah. But he's not a Sith. I'm just there are dark side users who aren't Sith. Maul, for instance, he was alive for a while. He wasn't a Sith anymore.
Right.
But yeah, the Inquisitors for me, they don't break the story, but they don't add anything to it, and the two Inquisitors in season 2 just kind of suck as villains. So, I don't know. Because the only parts of Disney Star Wars at this point that I want to keep are Rogue One and Rebels, and even Rebels, I can't, because Rebels is a really good follow-up to the Clone Wars, and it was made back before Disney was dedicated to destroying everything about Star Wars and every other franchise they own.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take it as canon, you can't take some of the expanded universe as canon because, I'll put the spoilers on, I guess. They on?
Yeah.
Thrawn, he gets effectively taken out of the story by the end of Rebels, but then the Thrawn novels happen it's like one of the first things that happens in the expanded universe, and it's one of the backbones of the post Return of the Jedi content. So if you take Rebels, you can't take that story.
That one had already kind of been broken, though. The expanded universe.
I don't know.
You mean the original Thrawn trilogy?
Yeah, the original Thrawn trilogy.
That one had kind of already been broken a little bit, mostly because it came out. Those books actually came out before the prequels even did. So some of what they say, I think, actually contradicts stuff that was shown in the prequels. Specifically about the Clone Wars. The books were written before the Clone War, before what the Clone Wars had actually been, it was literally just a line given in episode 4, a throwaway line about how they fought together in the Clone Wars, but they didn't actually explain what the Clone Wars was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that
I remember that people used to think that it was they fought a bunch of clones.
Yeah, that was one of the interpretations. Was it was like a bunch of clones from another galaxy, I think, came to our galaxy or their galaxy, and they had to fight them. Which, yeah, I guess I don't know. So, yeah.
Well, usually when you have wars, they're named after who you're fighting. So the fact that it's the Clone Wars is a bit odd. Though I guess the clones became the first part of the Empire, so I guess in retrospect it kind of makes sense. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. That's not always how wars are named necessarily. It's usually like Spanish-American War. It's like it's usually you name both sides that are fighting, or you just call it the Revolutionary War or the Mexican War for Independence.
Yeah, but they were fighting the revolutionaries.
Yeah, but we were the revolutionaries. We call it the Revolutionary War.
Yes.
We were fighting the British.
Yeah, we were fighting for a revolution.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. I'm turning off. I'm taking out the spoilers.
Okay.
But yeah.
No. The only parts of Disney Star Wars that I want to keep are Rogue One and Rebels, and that's only because I just like being able to watch the movies, then Clone Wars, then Rebels, then Rogue One, and then right into the original movies. It all fits together very well, and I didn't even read a lot of the post Return of the Jedi expanded universe anyways.
Yeah. What about Solo?
I'll keep Solo too.
Like Solo.
Solo's not a bad movie. It's just an unnecessary movie.
Yeah, but I enjoy it. I like that it's, shows more of like the Star Wars underworld, which is like arguably one of the most interesting parts.
Well, yeah.
So I like that. I like Solo.
Like it doesn't take anything away. It just doesn't really add anything either. It's there, but see, that's honestly a plus. It still looks like Star Wars. You'll notice that newer Star Wars doesn't actually make the effort to look like Star Wars. They've started to just kind of look like a generic any sci-fi series instead of Star Wars, which has a very specific aesthetic.
Well, it's because we're at this point now where they're kind of like merging the prequels and the original trilogy together. You're starting to see kind of like technology from both overlapping, and it kind of makes for a more generic. Like when the original trilogy came out, they went for a very like analog future kind of look. Everything was dirty and grungy, and you had buttons and stuff, like buttons and switches everywhere instead of like touch screens. Then when the prequels came out, they made those look a little more modern. So some of the technology looked a little more advanced even. And now we're at this point where since both exist, the new stuff kind of tries to incorporate elements from both. And it kind of detracts from the overall personality, I think.
Gosh, I just remembered another plot hole.
For Kenobi?
Yeah.
Do I need a spoiler tag for this?
Maybe?
Sure, I'll put it up just to be safe.
I guess just to be safe. The fact that Obi-Wan doesn't know that Anakin is Vader, even though he did know that, and how did Reva know that?
That is a good question. I did wonder that. But wait, how did we know that Obi-Wan...
Oh!
How did we know that Obi-Wan knew...
Oh, sorry, never mind.
Wait, when did you think...
Because he knew that. He found out in Revenge of the Sith, and then he talked about it all throughout the original trilogies. But like he saw the footage of Anakin killing people, he knew that he was called Darth Vader, and then... Yeah.
But
he knew. He did know.
I don't think he ever heard the name Vader used in Episode 3. I don't think he did.
I know, but do you see the amount, the lengths that you have to go to try and justify all these things?
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. It's here's what I'll say. It's not like a deliberate plot hole. It's just very close to being one. Because to me, it's like... Technically, they're not contradicting. They're contradicting what intuitively we kind of like, what we intuitively quote unquote knew. It's like we just assumed he knew who Anakin was Darth Vader. We assumed that Anakin never encountered Vader before Episode 4, just because of kind of some clues we were given, but we were never outright told that that's how it was. And they're just, Disney's just taking that for all it's worth. I feel
like, well, okay.
So yeah, I feel
this
like
is the last thing I'll say about this subject. I feel like the attempts to justify why the stuff in Obi-Wan is not a plot holes is basically falling into the God of the Gaps fallacy, where because it wasn't explicitly stated, well, then that means it's just completely free real estate. We can put whatever we want in there. And I don't think that's a good faith effort, nor do I think it's correct. That's the last thing I'll say about it.
Actually, you know what? I just realized what it is about Kenobi. I don't think our opinions are as different as you think. The thing is, I care so little about Disney Star Wars anymore that I don't care how Kenobi contradicts the canon. I just think I'm just happy that it's at least somewhat entertaining. I get to watch Ewan McGregor, who is one of my favorite actors, sort of reprise a role that one of his best roles. You get to kind of see him play that part again. That's why I enjoy it. That's why I don't care so much about the plot holes, because when I go back and watch Star Wars again, I'm probably going to stop at Episode 6. And I'm probably not going to watch, I'm probably never going to rewatch Kenobi. So I guess that's where I'm at. It's like, I'm perfectly happy just to watch it and be entertained by it, and that's it. I don't care about its implications for the greater universe, because Disney has completely lost me in that regard. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess that's where we're at. I'm basically watching Kenobi as if it's an entirely non-canon fan fiction, and I'm just enjoying it for what it is. And I'm looking at it almost entirely, I just realized that now. When I'm thinking about Kenobi, I'm not even thinking about it as part of the big picture of Star Wars. I'm thinking about it as its own story. And in that regard, I think it's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. It's entertaining. That's all it needs to be. But yeah, if I ever go back and watch Star Wars again, I'm probably just going to do the usual prequels and then, OT, maybe Clone Wars and Rebels.
No, the Clone Wars I think should be necessary. The Clone Wars is my favorite Star Wars anything.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that whole show is in my opinion is peak Star Wars. But other people have differing opinions. Some people still like the original trilogy the best. I don't know. I still like the prequels more than the original trilogy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm taking spoilers off.
Okay.
So yeah, this was supposed to be the video game episode, but it's just become the Star Wars episode. So now's our choice.
I mean, we still have time to turn it into the video game episode we want. I'm not going to say anything more about Kenobi.
Yeah, I don't.
Or Star Wars.
I don't have anything else to say about Kenobi. We have more Star Wars video games we still have time. Talk about.
Honestly, I haven't played as many as there are.
I've played.
Oh,
what I was just gonna say. Lately, I've been playing, most recently I've played the Skywalker Saga, the new Lego Star Wars game, which I'm absolutely loving just because it's Lego Star Wars. And I've actually been playing Battlefront 2 as well lately, the newer one, just because it's got actual online multiplayer. I don't have a lot to say about that one. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's pretty good, surprisingly.
Did they fix all the myriad of problems that existed when it first came out?
Yes. Yeah. They fixed those a long time ago.
Actually?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. It's a pretty solid game.
I'm still sticking with the Xbox One.
Well, the original Battlefront 2 is far better, but, if you want to be able to actually play online, the new Battlefront 2 is great for that. They did a good job. They really fixed all the errors of the first new Battlefront.
The fizz.
Yeah,
fizz,
the first.
Yeah, and
the what?
Sorry, there's fizz everywhere. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. They fixed a lot of the big problems. The first Battlefront had almost no content when it came out. Battlefront 2 did. Battlefront 1 had no story mode. Battlefront 2 does, even though I don't play it. Yeah. The biggest thing they fixed though was the heroes. They made the heroes all really good in the new Battlefront game, because in the first one it was I think you've seen it.
When you say the first one, do you mean the new first one or the old first one?
Yeah, the new first one.
Oh, okay. Wasn't it just you find tokens and then
that was how you got vehicles and how you got heroes, was that you had to pick up an item that would spawn on the map. So you would have these clowns that would just camp where those spawn and take them and spend the whole game, waiting for them to spawn and then take them and then play as the heroes. So yeah, basically I never got to play as the heroes in the original one. In Battlefront 2, the way it works is as you play, you earn points that you can redeem to play as special units. So depending on which faction you are. So, like, if you're playing as the clone troopers, if you save up enough points, you can spawn in as, like, either, like, an ATRT, or you can spawn in a tank, or you can play as a Republic Commando, or you can play as a ARC Trooper, or if you save up a ton of points, you can play as one of the hero characters. So you can play as, like, Obi-Wan, Anakin, Yoda, Chewbacca.
Is Yoda still broken in this game?
No, not really. I mean, he's still tiny, but all the heroes... I mean, the thing about it is kind of all the heroes are kind of broken, but that's the point. They're supposed to be Jedi and super powerful.
Yeah, but Yoda was especially broken because he was too short to shoot.
Yeah, no, he's not that bad, I don't think.
It's basically Odd Job, but not as annoying.
Yeah, Odd Job was a lot worse.
N64 is jank controls.
Once you get used to the controls, that's not the big issue. The problem with the Odd Job was that, so, like, you know, the way that they helped you out in the N64 was, like, there was, like, an auto aim.
Yeah.
So if you just looked at an enemy, your character would automatically aim at them. The auto aim aimed above Odd Job's head because he was so short. So you had to... That gave you an automatic advantage if you're playing as him.
Yep. I don't know. I've heard the best way to play that game is to get an emulator on PC and use a keyboard.
Yeah, definitely. That makes it a lot more playable, I think. I don't think I've ever actually played that.
What were they thinking with the N64 controller? Why does it have 3 things?
So the reason is you're never meant to use all 3 at once, obviously. It was to have 2 alternate grips where you can either play with a D-pad or with an analog stick. So the idea was that then they could still make their traditional 2D platformers. You know, it's like it came out at that time when 3D was the new and intimidating thing for the market, and people really weren't sure if it was going to take off. So they kind of like hedged their bets and made a controller that was capable of doing both 2D and 3D games. You know?
Yeah.
But that's why. You're never meant to use all 3 handles at once on the N64. There's like 2 alternate grips that you do, or actually there's like 3 alternate grips you can do, depending on how you hold them. Yep. I don't know.
Let's see. Okay, so what's the worst game controller you've ever had to use?
The SuperPad 64.
Which one? Hold on, let me look up a picture. SuperPad.
It's pretty
64.
universally regarded as like one of the worst controllers ever. It's just awkward and bulky and cheap plastic.
I'm sorry, hold on. Is the SuperPad the one that looks like a regular controller that kind of got partially melted?
Let me look, actually.
I'm seeing this weird jank one that is really lopsided.
It's not that one. It's the other one, SuperPad 64. It's the one, I don't know, there's a link for it on Amazon. It's the one that basically looks like a normal N64 controller with 2 of the arms, like, sliced. 2 of the handles are
this gray one?
Yeah, it's like a gray one. Like, 2 of the handles are sliced off. See what I mean?
Oh, wait, I see it now. Here it is.
Yeah.
There's one handle in the middle?
Yeah, you can see in the picture how cheap those buttons are. The plastic is awkward and bulky. The plastic, it just feels cheap.
How are you meant to hold this thing?
Just like a normal one, kind of. Or I guess more like an SNES controller, but yeah, I actually have one of those. Why does it have the one stick in the middle? All N64 controllers have the one stick in the middle.
Okay, fine, but why is it missing the other 2 then?
What other 2?
The actual handles.
Oh, yeah, just because I guess you're just supposed to hold it by the nubs. Yeah, no, it's...
why, though?
I don't know. It's horribly uncomfortable to hold. That's why it's one of the worst controllers ever made.
I'm trying to think about what the worst controller I've ever used was. And, like, genuinely, they've all been pretty standardized. So, I mean... I guess the worst one by default is the fat Xbox controller. Yeah. It's hard to hold. Like, I don't understand whose hands that was made for.
Here, I'm going to look up worst gaming controllers and just see what comes up.
Oh, yeah, this is the one. Okay, yeah. You know what? Yeah. Worst. Let's see what we find.
Here's worst one that looks kind of like the Boomerang 64 controller. Looks like a boomerang.
All right, so you're on 10 of the worst. I'll go to the article right below that. Let's see if any of this overlaps.
Well, I wasn't actually going into the article. I was just looking at pictures.
All right,
yeah,
so
here, I'll go into the article. Let's
see. Oh, yep, the first one, the Duke, the original Xbox controller.
Or we've got the Kinect.
The way too fat one.
The Xbox Kinect.
N64. Oh, Kinect doesn't count as a controller though.
I don't know. It's on the list. The Tony Hawk Ride skateboard controller. Have you seen that one?
The regular N64 is on here.
The Power Glove.
Hold on. Oh, the power. I forgot about the Power Glove. I never used one, but I know about it.
How about the Sega
My favorite.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's on this list, actually. What's this? Let's see. What is this thing?
So you stand in the center of it, and it's got sensors.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got sensors over those things, so you're supposed to like wave your arms over them.
Gosh.
So
this is like a Kinect before they made the Kinect, and the Kinect didn't work.
Yes, and this one really didn't work, from what I understand.
Oh, okay, so we're making progress. We went from really didn't work to mostly doesn't work.
Oh my god, pretty much all of the controllers made by Philips just look awful.
Philips, yeah. Power Glove's on here too. Do you have the Intel Wireless Series gamepad on yours?
Is that the one that's like a U?
It's a blue U.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Let's see. Dreamcast. That one's weird. You know, I hear the Dreamcast is a really good controller. I mean, system.
I've heard, yeah, it's got some
can't
classic.
get it.
Yeah, it's a hard one. It was a pretty undersold system, so I don't think there's a lot of them in the aftermarket anymore.
Yeah, and also the Saturn is like that, I think.
I haven't heard as much
Sega
about
Saturn.
Sega Saturn, but
I have heard. Wait, who made the Dreamcast? I have forgotten.
Sega.
Was it?
They're both
Sega?
Sega. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have a GameCube. Let's see. At this point, I've got a GameCube, an original Wii, an original Xbox. I've got all 3 Xboxes. I guess they made a new one, didn't they?
Yeah, the Xbox One S. Or no, Series S.
I hate the fact that I'm going to have to buy that
X.
console a year from now for the sake of just so I can play one game.
Or, I mean, or you can get like a PlayStation 5, I think.
Oh, can I? Because I've been led to believe that that console doesn't actually exist.
Well, it exists. It's just, yeah. Somehow
Are
they're
you
still
sure?
having.
Have you seen one?
My brother has
I've seen
one.
pictures of one.
My brother has one. So I have seen.
Oh,
one.
okay. So it is real.
It is real, but yeah, it's they seriously. I don't know how they're. I mean, I know why they're still having stock shortages, just because, supply shortages everywhere. But seriously, Xbox doesn't seem to have that problem.
How did it happen to such an extent? Because, like,
I really don't know.
Usually, how did it happen that much? Like, they sell a lot of consoles every time they make a console. What did they do wrong this time?
I don't know. Someone must have just dropped the ball somewhere along the line. Because it's.
There's like, you know what happened? There's like they had a big truck that had all the consoles in it, and like they had and like a little mail truck behind it. It was like carrying the spillover. And so they came to a fork in the road. One led down to the GameStop, and then the other one just led off of a cliff, and the guy accidentally took that turn while the mail truck went to the correct way.
Huh.
They're probably all in the ocean.
Probably. Huh. All right, we're at the 38-minute mark.
Honorable mention.
What?
Honorable mention, though. Virtual Boy, it's not a controller. It's just I don't know how you were supposed to actually use this thing.
Yeah, you're supposed to like just hunch over awkwardly and stick your eyes in the thing.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Because it's like, you'd think it would strap to your head, but it doesn't.
Nope.
As it stands, there's only one game I want to play on Virtual Boy.
Which one?
Wario Land.
Can't you get that one on something else now?
Virtual Boy Wario Land?
Yeah, pretty sure that they remade that for something, didn't they?
I mean, there's probably an emulator, but it's not real. Virtual Boy Wario. Let me see if they've ever ported this game anywhere. I almost kind of want to own a Virtual Boy just for the posterity, because it's like the worst thing ever.
They're probably kind of
3DS.
hard to find.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. I've got to get I have to still go through the 3DS eShop within the next year.
Why are they shutting it down?
They're closing it down in March 2023. I have to make sure there's no games I want to get. One of these days I need to get a Switch, but I don't have one yet. But there's a lot of stuff on the Switch. I have to get one so that I can play all the games on the Switch, and so I can make sure I download all of the Switch eShop games that I want. Because there's a lot of old Nintendo games I would like to play, but I can't play any of them. They keep not port. Why? I don't understand. Why don't they just port these things? Is it too much money? People would pay them if they did it.
no one understands Nintendo because yeah, you're right. They're sitting on basically a land they're sitting on a ton of money with all their old games that they just refuse to port.
Every now and then you get a remake, but that's about it.
Yeah, we're at the 40-minute mark. We should probably take an ad break.
Luigi's Mansion 1 got a remake for the 3DS. I haven't played that because I have the original GameCube one. But I was in terms of... Okay, so the first one's on the GameCube, and then the second one is... Wait, no.
Are we doing an ad break?
2013. But the first one came out
I just supposed to cut
in
to
like
ad
2001,
break.
I believe. It was the flagship title for the GameCube.
Chick man, Joni. I'm not a chick, I'm a dude.
Then anyways, and then you get to, by the time you get to the third game, it's like, okay, so they figured out the formula. They changed the mission-based structure. But people, okay, see, that's the thing about Luigi's Mansion. People complained about the second game. I still think the second game is really good, but the third game, I don't know which one I like more, the third game or the second game, but the second game had the mission-based structure, and the complaint I always heard about that was that people were like, oh, it's you don't get to explore as much. And I'm like, I mean, realistically, you didn't get to explore as much in the first game. It's linear. You can only go to one section when you've unlocked that section, and you unlock the rooms in a specific order. So you still have to play it. If you play the game, it's going to play the same way. So, in the third game, you can explore all around all the places you've actually unlocked, but there's nothing in the areas behind you. And the new areas that you get to still have to be played in the order that the game wants you to play it, which is fine. But people act like, oh, it's more open world now. It's like, it's really not. It's the same, guys. I don't understand why this is even a complaint. Oh, yeah, it's a bigger game, but like, it's not, exploration is not a part of that game. You explore it in the sense of, oh, let's see if I can find a hidden room in the level I'm in, but you still are in the level. It's not like an open world game or anything.
Fair enough. Didn't we have one specific game in mind?
I just didn't understand the complaint.
When we started this episode?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because we talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi for like 20 minutes, then we talked about game controllers for another 20 minutes.
Well, you said you had an episode.
Here we are.
You had a game you wanted to talk about, and you said we just go from there. Do you remember which game that was?
Oh, right. That was before we even started.
Yeah.
Plants vs. Zombies. Welcome to the real subject of this episode, halfway through.
I haven't played it much. That's the whole episode. All right, see you, everybody. Yep, bye.
All right. I don't know. I love that game. That was one of the first games that I actually went out of my way to buy. Like, because my dad, he had an Xbox, and that was the family game console. We just played Xbox games. But Plants vs. Zombie, I played on PopCap back when that was an actual website. It might still be a website. Is there still a website that has games on it?
I mean, those exist, probably.
PopCap game. I found a really good deal on Steam once for just like a bundle of various PopCap games.
Yep, that's Steam for you. Did you buy it?
It was just like, yeah, I bought it. It's like, here's all these classic games. It's like, I love these games. For $10, yes, please.
So yeah,
and I've played a few of them since then. What?
So yeah, I don't really have I don't really have much to go on there. Like
man, we can't talk. So we can't talk about. Fine. What PopCap games did you play?
Guess I got to look up PopCap. PopCap.
Founded in Seattle, Washington, in the year 2000 by Jason Kapalka.
Huh.
People make fun of EA.
Yeah.
When did EA start becoming contemptible?
It's been a while now, but yeah, they're just a very anti-consumer company.
Well, because all I remember about EA is that they made Plants vs. Zombies.
Yep, that was probably before
And
they
other
went
PopCap
completely
games.
off the deep end, but maybe not actually. But yeah, they're just very greedy, very very anti-consumer. Let's see. Looking at this list, I have played
What do I find?
Probably about 20 minutes worth of Plants vs. Zombies and nothing else.
I'm going to kill you.
Because I didn't play PopCap games.
I'm going to fax myself through the Discord and I'm going to strangle you.
Sorry.
I cannot believe you haven't played PopCap games.
Which ones should I have played?
Well, let me tell you. Man, I would be so nice if I had like music right now. Just something, just some sort of jaunty tune. No, that doesn't work for it. Just screw it. Okay, so I'll tell you. I played Alchemy. Is Astropop one? No, I did not play Astropop. I played Bejeweled. I played Bookworm Adventures and regular Bookworm. Chuzzle, Dynamite, Feeding Frenzy 1 and 2. You might have actually played that one because I have that one on my Xbox and we've played it before. I know we have.
Yeah, briefly.
Feeding Frenzy 2, Shipwreck Showdown with the alien fish. You remember?
No.
Come on, man.
I didn't get that far.
You control a small butterfly fish named Boris. You track down the alien fish who's trying to kill the ocean. And you have to go up the food chain so you can challenge him. Basically, Hammerheads. That's the one where you smash garden gnomes with a hammer. Whack-a-mole with garden gnomes. Okay, and of course, other than Plants vs. Zombies itself, Insane Aquarium. I know you remember Insane Aquarium.
Nope.
The one where you have the aquarium with the fish and there's aliens?
Nope.
Come on. I know you know about Heavy Weapon. I talked about it so many times. It's one of my favorite games.
I do know about that one.
It's the one with the tank. It's the one where you're a tank and you have to destroy the entirety of Soviet Russia, but they're not Soviet Russia. They're Red Star.
I mean, I'm familiar, but...
Yeah, the evil communist government Red Star who's trying to invade the United States and is definitely not Soviet Russia. What else is on here? I don't know if you played Mummy Maze. That's one of the more minor games. Peggle?
Nope.
You ever play Peggle?
Nope.
Rocket Mania?
Nope.
There's a lot of puzzle games. My mom likes a lot of these. She likes puzzle games. Zuma?
Nope.
You never played Zuma like in elementary school where we're on computer lab and one of us inevitably gets Zuma up and running?
Let me look. I've played some version of Zuma before, it looks like, but
it's the game where you're a frog and you shoot the Aztec balls at the track and get rid of them.
Right. Yep, I haven't played much of it.
Wow. And then, of course, Plants vs. Zombies. Let me tell you something. The Plants vs. Zombies after the first one, I just don't think it's worth playing. The first one has a certain charm that has never been replicated. Because after that, you have Plants vs. Zombies 2, which was a mobile game, and it started out really fun, but then it gradually became less and less worth it. Like, they started out, it's like, here's a new world. It's like a time travel theme. So it's like you got all these different possibilities for different plants and different zombies. Then they started doing this thing where they started adding in more and more microtransactions. It wasn't much. It was like, hey, here's extra plants you can buy. But then it started getting to the point where the levels started ramping up in difficulty to such a degree that they were becoming nearly impossible. And they stopped introducing as many new stuff. So you get to new levels, and it would have the zombies are all basically functionally palette swaps of earlier zombies. They didn't do anything new. The plants weren't really anything to write home about. And it got to the point where it was so hard that if you didn't have the DLC plants, it would be very hard. Like Big Wave Beach, holy crap. That's like the seventh world. It sucks. They had to have octopus zombies, and they throw an octopus onto your plant, which completely renders it useless. But not only that, so the plant is now useless. The zombies don't ignore it, so they don't eat the plant to get rid of it. And the octopus itself has to take hit points to get rid of it. So imagine now you get to the wave of the zombies, and it's funny because it's a tidal wave now because you're on a beach. But you have 10 of these guys. They all throw things. All of your entire lawn is now covered in octopuses that can only be removed by other plants destroying them. But you can't dig them up, so you can't replace them. No other plants can destroy them because all the plants are covered in octopuses, and you can't plant a new plant there. So you're basically just like, well, you lose now. Have fun. It sucks. And then eventually it's just like, what is the point of this game? It just keeps going, and there's never anything new. I don't want to play it anymore. And then there's Garden Warfare. I don't know if it was good or bad. It was that third-person shooter game, but it was one of those shooters that doesn't have... Oh.
I did actually play that one briefly. Oh, no, you're fine. I did actually play a little bit of Garden Warfare. It wasn't great. It was a pretty bare bones, pretty standard shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm, because like it's one of those shooters that was made when they were just like, you just have to have guys and you shoot at stuff, and it's like, but there's nothing here beyond that. There's barely a game here.
Yep, it was pretty bad from what bit I played.
Yeah, it's like it's not necessarily a badly made game. It's just, one of those games that only has like 2 hours of content.
Yep, that's about right.
So, it might be a well-made 2 hours, but it's only 2 hours. And it's just, and then I guess they made a Plants vs. Zombies 3, which I didn't even know about until, like, I don't know, I feel like a few months back, and I didn't even hear about it, because I was excited when Plants vs. Zombies 2 was announced. I saw the trailer for that, it's like, oh, that sounds awesome. And it was fun for a while, but then it stopped being fun. I don't think I ever actually beat it. I have beaten the original Plants vs. Zombies multiple times, because I love that game. But, I will admit, there is, Plants vs. Zombies 1, it's not like the most replayable game, because there's kind of a dominant strategy, and once you figure it out, you just do that again. But it's still fun. It's just charming. Such a charming game.
I don't have anything to add to that. So now what?
I guess we move on.
What game do you want to talk about?
What game do you want to talk about?
What game do I want to talk about? How about, Kingdom Hearts,
Rubble dingle dongle. Oh gosh, no. We already did that for 2 hours.
It was more than that. And we still haven't done episode 3.
Yeah, which we have to do eventually.
I'm good with not ever doing that.
We have to.
What's your least favorite game you've ever played?
My least favorite game?
Yeah, that's a hard one to say. Like,
I don't.
That's an interesting discussion.
I don't play games that I don't like.
What is like the worst game ever, though? Like that would be a hard one to pin down.
Oh wait, actually, I guess. Well, even though.
What?
I guess there's one I can pick, but I can't even say it's necessarily my least favorite, because we still had some fun with it.
From Russia with Love?
That one. For GameCube.
Yeah, see, that's what's hard. It's like, it's pretty
the balancing is terrible in that game.
I mean, like, picking a worst game ever, like, there's definitely some, like, low-hanging fruit. Like, a famous example is, like, Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. You've probably seen that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, my least favorite game is Hong Kong 97.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, there's some really crappily made games, so it's like, is it even fair to call those, like, the worst game ever? Because I feel like what's a lot worse is a game that actually had some real, like, effort and money put into it and still came out terrible. Because those games obviously were working on pretty much nothing. So to call them the worst game ever is kind of like almost giving them too much credit.
I don't know. It's just something. It's just, what's the point of pointing it out sometimes?
I don't know.
I mean, it's like, if I could say that Plan 9 from Outer Space is one of the worst movies ever, but we all know that.
Yeah.
That's the only reason anyone watches it.
Okay, how about this? What's a game that you don't like that everyone else seems to like?
All right, you talk about yours for a second. I'm gonna go look in my wooden crate.
Well, I guess
right back.
One for me is probably Elden Ring. I don't love that game. It's fine, but definitely don't like it as much as everyone else seems to. I love the Dark Souls game, and even I'm gonna say that game was way too hard. And I think the open worldness of Elden Ring kind of worked against it in some ways, because it's like in Dark Souls there was it was kind of open world, but it was mostly linear, so you knew you were progressing through at the right rate, difficulty ramped up in the correct order. In Elden Ring, it's completely open world. You can wander into an endgame area pretty early in the game. In fact, pretty early in the game, there's like a trap chest that will send you miles away to what is literally the most difficult section of the early game, and you'll just be stuck there. Yeah, so it's like FromSoft, they make hard games, but Elden Ring is the one where I really felt like they were just being outright unfair in a lot of ways. The world design was just a little too confusing for its own good. I got shafted just because I didn't put enough into magic, because that's, it's like basically an Elden Ring. If you're not playing with magic, you're not playing it right. But, I tried to play it as a warrior like I always do, and I got burned for that. So yeah, not a huge fan of Elden Ring. I haven't finished it, and I don't think I ever will, because it just makes me mad, and that's not fun. Yeah. Another example, the game For Honor. You know, it's one that's got a pretty big following. My brother plays it. A lot of his friends play it. I don't love it. I'll play it with them, but that's the only time I'll ever play it, because that game just is way too frustrating for its own good. The combat system's good. Like, it's very developed well, but it's just... It's basically just... They actively encourage toxicity in that game. They give you the ability to do these long, drawn-out executions that make the other player's respawn time way higher. They give you the ability to pretty easily taunt the other player with some really... You know, you could spam quick chat, or you can like use taunts and stuff, where it's just like they basically just made it as easy as possible for you to bully the other players. Which in a game like that, you know, it's like, it's one thing if you get shot to death in Call of Duty, but if you get your head sliced off repeatedly by the same guy and then teabagged, it feels a little more personal, you know? So yeah, I don't love For Honor. It's, you know, it's one of those games. It's in the skill-based matchmaking. It just makes it so much worse. Because, yeah.
Is For Honor the one that has the guy with the skull face that's made of steampunk?
I don't think so. Guy with the skull face that's made of steampunk? What?
Yeah.
What the heck are you talking about?
Like, it has Honor in the title.
Guy with skull? What?
Yeah, the guy with the steampunk skull.
Are you talking about Dishonored?
Probably.
Yeah, no, I love Dishonored. I never have played the second one, though.
Well, how can you say you love Dishonored if you've never played the second one?
Because I love the first one. A lot. That's a game I need to play again. And I need to play the second one finally.
All right. I thought of two examples.
Of what?
Found two.
Of
games that I don't like. That, well, not even... Okay, one of them I didn't like. One of them I just don't like it as much, but everyone else loves it and thinks it's the best game ever.
All right, do share.
Number one, Doom 2. The original Doom 2.
Yeah, I can't speak to that one.
Let me tell you. Okay, so I'm playing these on the Xbox because I got... So already I'm not playing with the optimal control setup, but I eventually figured out that they did build in as much of a shortcut as they could, because one of the keys will switch you to a subset of weapons, and then so I figured that out eventually. But Doom 2 was not fun. I play every Doom game on the same difficulty. I didn't have any trouble getting through Doom 1. I didn't have any trouble with Doom and Doom Eternal, which I just think are better games in general, the newer ones.
Cause...
Doom 2, no, I mean they're because, you know, okay, the weird thing about Doom and Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, they don't feel like a sequel to Doom. They feel like an entirely different game. Like, you know, when you play Doom 2 to Doom 1, it's an improved version of Doom 1. When you play Doom 64, similar graphics, but like this is clearly the same game. They've changed the graphics are different, and they've changed up the combat a little bit, but like it's clearly the same game. Doom 2016 is so different. It's not, it doesn't feel like a sequel to Doom. It feels like it's an entirely separate game, which I mean is fine, because honestly I like the gameplay in the newer games better.
Yeah.
But it's really what it is it's a sequel to Brutal Doom, which is that one mod of the original Doom where running, jumping, and glory kills are all part of it. See, like that looks like it's like, oh, this is an updated version of Brutal Doom. Like it's like better graphics, better combat, but like this is the same gameplay. Not so with the original. But anyways, Doom 2. Doom 2 is too hard to be fun. It's like you get to the point where they just start throwing like a million bajillion enemies in every single map, but not any more bullets. So you just don't have bullets for like most of the game. And eventually it got to the point where the only way I could get through it is if I followed an exact optimized walkthrough that was the exact way, most efficient way to get through the level. And if I followed that to the letter, that was the only way I could beat it after a while. And eventually it's like, I just need to get through this game so I can be done with it. So I followed that walkthrough until it was over. I didn't enjoy it, and I don't understand why everyone likes it as much as they do.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the same experience I had with Jedi Outcast. I think I've already talked about that one. But yeah. Same
Cue
problem.
all the people coming in and saying that I only like baby games that hold my hand. Screw you guys. I just want the game to be fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd
Okay,
say like
this is why I don't play. It's why I don't play Legendary on Halo. It's like, yes, it's harder, but it's not more fun.
oh, I like Legendary.
Well, no, I don't. I'll stay on Heroic. I think
I had
Heroic is the way it's supposed to be played.
I think you're right, but I did play through. I have played through all the Halo games on Legendary, just for fun, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. It really forces you to strategize and take it slow. And
Let me guess, you think gooding over it is fun too, don't you?
no, I've never played that game. I refuse to play that game. Yeah, I enjoyed Halo on Legendary.
I don't know.
It's fun. It's very hard, yes, but it is fun. You just got to. Yeah. It's a whole different kind of game.
Now, my second one.
But yeah, what's your second one? No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, you keep going. You're good.
I didn't really have anything else to say. I was just saying that like,
Oh.
playing Halo on Legendary is a very different experience than playing it on any other difficulty, but it is fun in a different way. That's what I'd say.
All right, my second one, Smash Bros. Melee. I don't hate it. I just don't understand why everyone thinks it's the best Smash Bros. It's clearly not. It doesn't play as well. The controls are clunky. The physics aren't as good or well realized. There aren't as many characters. And just everything about... I mean, some people think Brawl is controversial because of the tripping mechanic. And honestly, Smash 4 and Ultimate, which are very similar in terms of how they're played, though I think those two are the best. At that point, they've really figured out how it works. It works well. I don't understand why Melee is like held up as like the best Smash game. It just isn't.
I think the opinion is I seem to see Ultimate being regarded as the best one now. Personally, I don't know.
Oh, really? Has that finally shifted over?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I haven't really explored it much. I know that Melee just had its own like niche community because someone made like a mod for the emulated version where you could play online with people, and that made it like really popular. Like, because the thing was, like, I think you're talking about at the time when it was Melee versus Brawl. A lot of people said Melee was better than Brawl because
I don't think it is.
I don't know. Melee is faster paced. It doesn't have the tripping mechanic. So, and Melee has a few other features like, you know, wave dashing and stuff that people love to use. So it's like Smash Bros. Melee is kind of its own beast almost. It's like a cult classic kind of situation, I think. It's got its followers, you know, and I don't know. It's a good game, but yeah, I mean, it shows its age for sure. But at the time, it was just that between Melee and Brawl, Melee was the one that was more of like a, you know, for people that were hardcore fighting game players, they liked Melee more because it was more faster paced and challenging than Brawl. Because Brawl really did kind of like slow it down more. It slowed down the gameplay a little more. It it made it more of a casual experience, and you know, it's surprising how many people play Smash Bros as a hardcore game. I don't know.
Well, I'm not one of the people who it's like, it's like Smash Bros, only Fox, no items, Final Destination. It's like, no, that's boring. I'll play with no items, but I don't want to. That was the problem. You remember back in middle school, like everybody like you were only allowed to play on Final Destination ever.
Yeah, I do remember.
It's
I
just
mean,
boring.
that wasn't always
while.
the case. We definitely played as other maps, but Final Destination was the most common, just because that's the one that's causes the least arguments. Doesn't have any of the annoying stage hazards and stuff, and it's a pretty safe bet that you're gonna like. I know,
but aren't the stage hazards just part of it?
Yes, but
it's like
always, I mean, but yeah, items are part of it too. You just don't always want to deal with them.
Well, items I feel like are a little bit different because I think the point of the game is to fight in different environments. So if you can managing those environments should be just as important a skill as being able to fight. The items I think are different because they're an extra element that isn't connected to either of those things. And it's like, you can be really good at managing the stage. You could be really good at using it to your advantage. You could be good at fighting, but there's nothing that makes you good enough to avoid somebody suddenly pulling out the Hyrule Moon and slamming it into the ground.
Yeah, I mean...
Termina Moon, sorry.
What I'd say is Smash Bros. Is a very customizable game. That's what it is. You can play time mode, you can play stock mode, you can adjust all the things, you can add like handicaps and you can add like damage multipliers. It's a very customizable game. So it really just comes down to what you prefer and what you're in the mood for. Because yeah, sometimes you want to play with items, sometimes you don't, sometimes you want to play with stage hazards, sometimes you don't. But yeah, no, it is the whole idea is that when you want to get down to which player is really better, you level the playing field as much as you can. So you play on, Final Destination, so you're not dealing with any, stage hazards. It comes down purely to if one player can outplay the other.
Yeah, but I mean, even that is not totally, because like Final Destination, definitely, even Final Destination, people are like, this one's the most fair because it's flat and there's nothing that can interfere with you. And it's like, yeah, but it's also, because it's flat and very small, it puts some characters at a distinct advantage. If I play as Ike, for example, I'll do really well in Final Destination. If I play as Samus on Final Destination, I don't do as well because Samus's playstyle is about putting a little bit of distance between you and the other person, which you can't do if you're on Final Destination.
Oh, I can do great with Samus on Final Destination.
Or another character. Jigglypuff is better on larger stages. Even Fox, you'll be some of those characters are like with the ranged attacks. Really, it's just a matter of like if what you're play, because you will be put at a distinct advantage depending on who you play as and what your play style is if you're on Final Destination as opposed to any larger stage. It's not exactly an equalizer. It cripples some people.
Yeah.
Incineroar is garbage, though. Anyone who plays as Incineroar should feel bad. You're the new Pikachu.
Pikachu wasn't that bad.
Pikachu was terrible in Brawl. Are you kidding? Every single one of his attacks is super spammable.
Yep. I don't know. I don't have much more to add to that. What else we got?
What else we got? All right. Settle down, everybody. Let me tell you a little story. Oh, wait. Actually, you know what? I forgot. I also don't like Call of Duty.
That's fair.
There we go.
I don't like it either.
I remember I got made fun of back in middle school for not liking it because I liked Halo, and then they're like, oh, it's like the start of that elite. It's like, oh, Halo, it's got shields and all this guy's a baby game. And it's like, oh, shut up.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, people always like Halo versus Call of Duty. It's like, okay, well, really, they're different games. I like them both.
I'm guilty of that too. I did the versus too, but now I look at it and it's like, I don't think they're just, the only thing they have in common is that they're first-person shooters.
Yeah, it's like you can have a preference of one over the other, but you're not wrong for liking Halo more. Yeah, at the time, I don't know. It really did just come down to my mood. Call of Duty was its own game, and yeah. And at the time, Call of Duty games were a lot better back then. I don't know. I haven't played any of the newer ones. I know Call of Duty Warzones has a pretty big following, mainly because they jumped on the Battle Royale ban train.
Oh, right. Everything's a Battle Royale now. Yeah.
Battle Royale bandwagon.
The band train. No, band train.
Yeah,
I like that better.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, and I absolutely hate Battle Royale games, so.
Which a lot of games are, it seems.
Yeah, pretty much every game.
You got your Fortnite. You
Overwatch
got your
isn't a
Call of Duties.
Overwatch isn't a Battle Royale game.
Yeah, it is. You summon people into a match, and then you have a Royale, and then you go into a different match.
No. What do you think a Battle Royale game is?
I'm now hold on. As I was saying it, I'm now realizing I'm describing a different thing.
Yeah, Battle Royale
is a Battle Royale.
PUBG, yeah. PUBG was the first one. That's the one that started it all. But yeah.
Soviet jump game.
What?
That's a Battle Royale.
Was
Tetris Battle Royale.
Yeah.
That one Mario Battle Royale game.
Yeah. I mean, those are kind of like tangentially Battle Royale. Like straight up Battle Royale games are what I hate. Like the shooter ones, or just... I just hate games where... I hate permadeath kind of games, You die once and you're done.
Oh.
That's like Battle Royales are just...
Don't you just go into a new game?
You do, but it's so unrewarding to me.
Oh, guys.
Yeah, that one's fun. That one actually is fun because it's super casual.
That's a Battle Royale.
Yeah, technically. Kind of.
Well, because I don't understand the problem with permadeath, because it's like you die, it's like you're dead. Try again, and then you go into a new game, and then it's like, okay, let's see if I can get to the top of this one. And
I'll tell you an anecdote about my first experience with like a Battle Royale style game was actually DayZ.
All right.
Kind of. I don't know. That's probably not the best example. DayZ is kind of its own thing. That's the zombie one. So actually, DayZ is kind of what's responsible for the battle royale genre, because DayZ came out, started as a mod for Arma 2, and then it became a standalone game. Then the creator of DayZ basically took DayZ, took the zombies out of it, and made it into PlayerUnknown's Battleground. So PUBG.
Oh, so that's what PUBG stands. Wait, so the game isn't actually called PUBG?
No, it's PlayerUnknown's Battleground, because PlayerUnknown is the guy that made it. Yeah, PUBG.
Oh.
Yeah, but that one came out.
Something.
But here's an example. Okay, I'll give you a couple examples. So I'll start with DayZ. My entire experience playing DayZ, I played the Arma 2 mod. I didn't play the standalone because it hadn't come out yet. But yeah, you start in the game. You got to go and gather supplies, right? So I'd spend a while gathering up supplies. I would, start walking toward near a city or something. Just travel out. First player I could encounter, I'd get sniped in the head. They'd take all my stuff, and I'm back at square one. Very unsatisfying gameplay
What stuff
loop.
did you even have?
Like bandages and food and water and just stuff you need to survive a zombie apocalypse. But yeah, then you're back at square one.
I think you just summed up my problem with player versus player games in general.
Well, see, the difference is
that was the problem I had with Minecraft the one time I tried it.
In multiplayer? Yeah, well, that one, I don't care for that kind of...
I spawned, I came out, and then I was immediately killed, and it's like, oh, fun.
Well, I think it's because you joined a PvP server. I don't care for those either, for the same reason.
Ow.
Yeah, I don't care for Minecraft PvP for the same reasons. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I guess then the other one is Apex Legends. That's the other one I've played the most of, because that's another one my brother plays. My experience with that one is you load into a game, which, spend 5-10 minutes getting into a game. Probably not that long. Probably 5 minutes is your average time getting into a game. Find a game, get in. You drop into the map. You start gathering weapons. Like when in that game, you spawn with literally nothing. You just drop in as your character. You don't have any weapons. You start running around the map. You gather gear. And your objective is to be the last team standing. And that one you're in teams of 3. So your job is to kill all the other teams or outlive them. But, you get killed. I get killed almost immediately, and then I'm back to square one. Or, you fight pretty... I don't know. I could see why it would be fun, but I find it really unrewarding. I prefer the games that are just a little faster paced, like where it's... like let's use Call of Duty. Like, I used to play Call of Duty Black Ops, and in that one, it was 2 teams against each other. If you die, you just get to respawn and keep going, and ultimately who wins or loses comes down to which team gets more kills. It's not literally just comes down to... Like, in Apex Legends, there were games where, the winner was a team that literally just did nothing the entire game. All the other teams killed each other off. It came down to that team versus the team that actually did all the work, and then that team would just win, because they would kill one team and win. So it's like, it's unsatisfying. I don't like having to start from scratch every time I start a round. I like being able to load in with, the gear that I've earned. I guess that's what it is. It's like, in those games, there's usually a sense of progression. As you play through the games... in most games, there's a sense of progression. You level up your character, you unlock new gear and stuff. In Apex Legends and really any Battle Royale game, that's not the case. Because by definition, you usually start the game with nothing and have to find your gear. And,
All right.
You died, you're back to square one. It's not a fun gameplay loop for me. I see why people like it. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Futterman? If you don't enjoy that, that's just because you don't have the skill required to truly appreciate those games. You really just need to get good, because I can see you're used to just baby games to hold your hand.
I'll admit
this
that.
is a skill game.
I know you're not being serious, but I will retort to that by saying, yeah, I actually am not that good at those games. That's why I don't enjoy them, because I don't want to play them for hundreds of hours to get good at them. Because the people that are really good at those games, they play them a ton. I don't play video games that much. And I don't want to. I want to just be a casual gamer. That's why most of the games I play are single player. You don't have to deal with other people's crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only look. I don't. At this point, I don't play online games because I'm not skilled enough for it. But the only reason I never played online games is because my dad was like, "You don't get to go online," and so I was exclusively a local multiplayer guy. I invited the boys over. We play on the couch. Everyone goes home.
Also known as the good old days.
Yeah. All the 4 of us playing Halo 2 split screen.
And everyone getting
trying
mad.
not to screen peek, eventually arguing because one of us was screen peeking, then denying it.
And then everyone
then all of
ganging
us
up
would go
against
through
one
it.
player. Everyone ganging up against one player because they're doing
dual-wielding
better.
needlers.
Oh yeah, or everyone getting pissed because one person's using the rocket launcher or the dual needlers.
Usually it's the dual needlers that piss people off.
Yeah.
They removed that feature in later games.
Yes, they did. Then they removed dual wielding entirely.
Yeah. Wait, did Halo 3 still have dual wielding?
Yes, Halo 3 did, but Halo Reach and Halo 4 did not. And neither did Halo 5. And I don't think Halo Infinite does either.
I don't know. I haven't even played Halo 5, and I'm not planning on playing Halo 6.
Yep.
I just want it to end.
Halo
It should have
5
stopped
was
already.
terrible.
Yeah, and Halo 6 ignores it anyways, so what's the point?
Yep.
You just play Halo 1, 2, and 3. You get a complete story that doesn't require any supplements. Halo 4, you get a nice epilogue that only requires a few supplements to understand some of the details. Halo 5, well, I sure hope you read a 20-issue comic series and watched a movie, because you're not going to know who anyone is otherwise. Ow, my spine.
All right, well, we're at I guess technically we're at like the
moved
hour
rocks.
15-minute mark right now. Probably could go ahead and wrap up. I don't really have anything else to say. What about you?
I mean, I could say a lot more about various things.
Would you like to? Or would you rather save that for next time?
Have you ever heard the sound of a rubber ball breaking a window?
No.
Would you like to? Alright, anyways.
Should we cue the outro?
I'm just trying to think if there's any other games that we should talk about now before we go. I mean, I already know the answer to this. Have you played Alan Wake yet?
Nope.
Play Alan Wake, you heathen! It's the perfect time for it. They're making the new game next year. You don't have to wait 10 years like everyone else did.
Well, I don't want to buy a PlayStation 5 to play it.
Just play it on Xbox.
Wait. Alan Wake 2? Is that what it's called?
Alan Wake 2 is next year.
Yeah.
Play Alan Wake 1 now.
Yeah, I know. I'm just looking at Alan Wake 2. Yeah, you need a next gen console to play it, so I'm probably not going to.
Yeah, I know. Not thrilled about that. Yeah, but you play Alan Wake, then you play Control. Control is really good. I had a lot of fun with that one. And then Alan Wake 2! I'm excited. This is the most excited I've been about a game ever since Luigi's Mansion 2 came out that one time.
Cool.
Do you remember? I look back on that time period and I look back to my past self and I'm like, oh no, what are you doing?
What?
You remember?
No, I don't remember.
Do you remember the year of 2012 leading up to 2013 when I would not shut up about Luigi's Mansion 2?
Vaguely.
That is the only game I've ever gotten hyped about. Like actually hyped. I scoured the internet every day for news about it. I looked at every article I looked at every issue of Game Informer for more articles about it. Like I was excited. Remember Game Informer?
Yeah. I didn't really read it much. But yeah.
They still making things?
Probably.
Because I remember I was dark. Wait, no, hold on. Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon. Not Luigi's Mansion 3. Not Luigi's Mansion 1. Show me the second one. 2013. That was 12 years in between the first game and the second game. Does it have its own Wikipedia page? I'm pretty sure it got moved back. I remember thinking, oh, it's going to come out soon. And then I watched that YouTube video of the beta gameplay. I guess not. Well, it's not totally. I guess it'd be beta. But then it's it got moved back. And so I kept looking every day for the news of when it would finally be released. Oh my gosh. I just, remember what it was like to be excited about things. It doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, I don't get excited about much anymore. least not media-wise.
There's not a lot to be excited about.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I get excited about a few things. Alan Wake 2 is one of them. Luigi series, Mansion, Dark Moon 3. Mario is missing. That game is terrible. But it gave us Ouija. So, I guess there's that. Oh no, where am I? Oh, there I am.
Should we roll the outro?
Apparently, you don't seem to have anything to say.
Sorry, I've run out of topics, and we're over the hour and a half mark now, so let's just roll the outro.
To capitalize on educational games which were popular at the time, Nintendo partnered with Radical Entertainment to create an educational Mario game. Nintendo licensed the Mario characters, but were otherwise not involved in the game's development, nor was creator Shigeru Miyamoto.
Thanks for watching. You should check the description for the email address, realplaceholderpodcastofficial@gmail.com. Send us emails, send us plain mail, tell us to get real jobs. And on that note,
by October 1993, Mindscape published.
I guess I'm going to say it this time. It's over.
Super Mario World. The DOS version stretched out character animations, unlike the later versions in the United States. The software. Bye.